Hello, I am so excited to be with you today. My name is Nadean Music, and I am excited just to share with you who I am and what I have to offer for you. Again, my name is Nadean Music. I'm a realtor, but I'm also a coach. I got certified as a life coach this past, probably, well, I went through a program probably this past year, but I also had to dive, some people call it diving deep during the COVID year, which for me personally, not everybody will like this, but for me, it was a great year. It was really nice. It gave me the time to sit down and to study and to complete the programs that I wanted to complete and understand where I was and what I wanted to do. And so this year is now the year of implementation. And I am really excited to share what I have discovered the past year as I implement and move forward in this coming year. First, I want to share with you as well that some of my ideas and opinions are just that, my ideas and opinions, and they may not resonate with everybody. I may say some things that are that you might find a little bit offensive or you don't agree with. And I'm just going to let you know that is okay. I am opinionated. I have gone through a lot of things, and I've had to spend my last year really diving deep, as some people like to call it, into what my thought patterns were and really figuring out what lies I was telling myself about myself and where they came from and how I best, the most important thing, how I best could change them to make my life better and to make things come together. And that's what we're going to be sharing. We're going to talk about some of the challenges thinking that I went through, and maybe they'll resonate with some of you. Maybe somebody will go, and I've thought that too. I have thought that way too, and maybe I need to change it. I'll tell you that my life has not been a perfect life. I'm not somebody that's lived a linear, wonderful life. That's why I'm choosing to be a coach, to help other people along. You know what they say about therapist and coach is they become one because they need one. Well, that's me. I've had a coach I've been a realtor in the real estate business for the last 19 years, and I have had a coach 15 years of that. When I was in the fitness industry before that, I had a mentor and also a coach helping me along fitness-wise and also with my business as well. So I'm a firm believer in having a coach, somebody that walks along side by side with us and creating some space that we can learn. And that's what my job is. That's what my heart, that's what my calling is to help create some space for you or for some other people that want to come along and just explore themselves and dive deeper within their own thought patterns and where they're coming from in the world. And that's what I want to do, is just make it a wonderful, safe place for you to explore your own thinking. And some of our thinking is very faulty. And I have to say, I've had some extremely faulty thinking. And it started when, I'm going to say probably 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, I was just not getting to where I wanted to be in life. And I felt like I was this plethora of information. I had all this information, all the self-help information, about business and building a business. And I understood how to do things, but I wasn't getting where I wanted to be. And it just felt like I kept hitting the ceiling, but I kept pouring more and more information in, and it was just getting stuck along the way. And I was just getting more and more heady, but I wasn't moving anywhere. I felt super stuck. But I was like expanding like crazy, but nothing was coming out. Nothing was coming out. And I realized that there was like this cork stuck up the funnel, and I had to pull that cork out so that the information could flow through and come down into my heart. So I had a good skill set. I knew what I needed to do. I had read a ton of books. I had lots of certifications, all moving myself forward. But there was one missing piece, and I didn't know what that was. And it was self-worth. It was self-worth. I had extremely low self-worth, not low self-esteem. Some people can argue that that's different, and I'm going to argue that it's different. I had good self-esteem in certain situations because I was knowledgeable, I was confident, I could speak, I understood things, but my self-worth never allowed me to get to the next level. Those little voices inside my head when I would hit a certain level was, who do you think you are to get better than this? Why do you think you deserve this? You really don't know how to do this. And when I discovered those faulty thinkings and how really low my self-worth was, even though I structurally had a lot of things in place, man, that's when the cork started coming out, because then I knew what I needed to focus on. And I was able then to focus on it. So I got myself into therapy and we worked on it. And I also worked on the non-personality coaching, and that's what I teach, non-personality coaching. We worked on my thought patterns and what specifically was holding me back. What were the lies? Why did I have such low self-worth? What the heck? What the heck? And I had to reframe and redirect. So I had some stories. Of course, like everybody has stories that come up from their past. And a lot of the stories I have were just strictly generational stories. So when I was growing up, for example, girls weren't really allowed to play, baseball or softball, or, sports were just now coming out of age. But back then, there was some girls' sports, but not a lot of girls' sports. It was coming more and more, but it still wasn't as popular as it is today. And when I was in sixth grade, girls were not allowed to play in the sixth grade teacher-student softball, end of the year softball game. Well, I just felt that was crazy. And, my mother was divorced, my parents were divorced, and my mom listened to Helen Reddy, I Am Woman. So that's what I listened to all the time. And then I was down in the principal's office, me and another girlfriend, and I was a real tomboy, and that wasn't real popular either. Just wanted to be a Girl Scout. And no offense if you're a Girl Scout, not a Girl Scout. I wanted to play sports. Well, apparently the principal didn't like me arguing with him and coming into the room. And my mother, she was telling me, would you stop creating problems? You're just creating all these problems. And my dad had to have a little chit chat with me and tell me that, my brother's coming up and you're creating a bad reputation for your brother because you're just being a rebellion and this and that. And it was like all these things that I was doing. Well, thank goodness I'm the person that I am, because I kind of looked at them and thought, that's just baloney. And I want to play softball, and I'm really not doing anything bad. I'm exploring things, but I'm not a bad person. And I just kept doing what I wanted to do. And sorry for them, too bad for them. And guess what? We were the first girls to play softball that year against the teachers. So we made that happen. By the time, and I had a couple more of those little situations. Also, I had little challenges with the boys when I started developing and all that stuff. They'd come by and they'd slap you in the rear end and poke you in the boobs. I'm sorry, boys, but it's not always fun. Girls don't like it. They don't like that. Well, I fought back. And when I tried to come home and talk to my mom about that, she looked at me like, well, I wish I got that kind of attention from boys. And I'm thinking, I don't want that kind of attention from boys. I just want to play sports with them. I don't want all that other stuff. And so I didn't get a lot of help or support. And of course, when I fought back and took my purse and swam and gave a boy stitches one time for doing that, of course, I was the one that got in trouble. But again, being the person I was, I thought, I don't care. I'm getting into trouble. I'm just in trouble. It's fine. Perfectly okay. But I wasn't a bad kid. I mean, in 8th grade, my parents were pretty shocked when I came up on stage and I was the one that gave the invocation. I had some real mentors in my life, some real female mentors. So thank goodness for Mrs. Hall, my 8th grade Spanish teacher. Shout out to Mrs. Hall, who who helped me. She really helped me. She said, "You're a great speaker. Why don't you need to give the invocation?" And I did. And I was a spiritual person at that point. I still am a spiritual person. So, and it was wonderful. When I got into high school, my junior and my senior year, I was the president of my ski club. Well, by my senior year, I had, you get t-shirts every year. So we had to, you vote on the t-shirts, and then you order the t-shirts. And then at the end of the season, you might get your t-shirt to say that you had it. Well, I thought that was baloney again. And I thought that we needed to have our t-shirts at the very beginning of the year so that we could show off that we were a part of a club and it would help grow our club. And I had all these other ideas that were not accepted because they had never done things that way before. So in my senior year, I just made the changes myself. So what I did is had a little group to get together. We decided what t-shirt logo we were going to design. We did it, and I went down and designed the shirt. Of course, I wrote the check, and of course it bounced. But my thought was, they'll fix the problem, and they did. And they did. Did I get in trouble for it? Yeah. Did I been arrested for it? Probably. But the goal was, I was getting those t-shirts done, and we were making the changes, and I wasn't going to wait for the school system and another system make it. So therefore, I'm obviously not a government worker, or I don't really do well in the corporate world. Thus, the entrepreneurship, because I've always been that way. I've just always been who I am to this day. But I had the voices of getting in trouble. And so by the time you get older and you kind of get beat up, and this person tells you, oh, there's no money for college, and this person tells you this, and you start believing all these lies about yourself, and you forget who you are. You forget who you are, and you forget what you were fighting for. And so by the time I graduated from high school, I just got lost. My dad had remarried and had another daughter, and he had moved away, and my mom had remarried. I had stepbrother, stepkid, and I was lost. I didn't have a solid mentor. I just didn't have what I needed. So I got married, of course, and you have kids. And thank goodness I had my children when I was young. When my daughter was born, man, she really gave me the focus that I needed. So, and I was already a hairstylist, so I had that going for me. And I decided I was going to get into the fitness industry. And boy, those two businesses carried me and allowed me to be home with my kids, but still work. And it was great lessons, incredible lessons. And I met some incredible friends, and it was wonderful. But my personal life and marriage, apparently I like, athletic, my personal joke was, men say this all the time, but I have to say is I like them good looking and a little crazy, and maybe a little self-centered is probably what it is. So I learned through life to walk on eggshells. I learned through life to suppress my intuition. I learned through those years to just